Hi, it's Thursday, August 14th, day 6 on the Colorado Trail. And to recap yesterday, I camped with Cheddar and Just Joe at about mile 60, I think it was. And I left camp a bit earlier than them and walked through mostly pine forests, kind of like this, and then got to some aspen groves and wide open grass fields that were just gorgeous. And by then they'd caught up with me, and we saw our first moose of the trail. It was across sort of a valley. And then we noticed a couple more that were lying down next to it. So we kept descending through big, broad, open fields and great views. And then eventually got to our first real good views of the Collegiate Peaks and Mount Massive. And then descended down through some more forest and camped at about mile 75 from Denver. And then another couple came in and joined us at the campsite. So the highlights were after setting up camp, Cheddar and Just Joe and I went off into this sunny little glade and were practicing whistling and blowing grass to make the buzzing sound and making the hooting sound, which I just left those guys practicing some more, where you cup your hands and blow into the little hole at your thumbs. And just everybody was being really goofy and giggling and laughing, and lots of fun. And another highlight was seeing the big mountains for the first time here on the trail. And so we went past Kenosha Pass, which is a pass with the Highway 285 that runs over it. And I think I mentioned that when Lisa and I used to live in Alamosa, that was the road we took to get to Denver, so we'd been on that a number of times. And when we got there, Joe was going to hitchhike into Jefferson to get a hamburger. And it was his first time hitching, so he was a little bit nervous about that. But from where Cheddar and I took a lunch break, we could watch him. And in not too long, maybe 20, 30 minutes, somebody pulled over and he got a ride. And he told us later that it was a fun conversation, got a ride to the burger place, ate, and then got a ride back pretty quickly. So he rejoined us in camp that night. And so it was cool to have Just Joe have his very first hitchhiking experience. And something that wasn't so great was it rained last night, and between the air temperature and being closed up for the rain, my tent, which is a single wall, got really a lot of condensation, so my tent and quilts are a little bit soggy today. I have to air them out later on. As for today, we've been ascending quite a bit this segment of the trail. Let's see, heads up towards Georgia Pass, which is close to 12,000 feet. And all of us have been tolerating and seem to adapt to the elevation really well. It's the first time that Joe and Cheddar have hiked at this elevation, so it's really cool that they're doing so well. And so we're gonna go up and over the pass and hope to make about 15 miles today. And then the following day we'll have maybe a dozen miles to bring us to a trailhead. And all three of us are planning to spend the night in Breckenridge, do laundry, get resupplies, charge stuff up. And so that's the plan. We'll see what happens. So I forgot to mention that yesterday, after Joe went on his hitchhiking adventure, Cheddar and I encountered another moose as we were coming down into a drainage. Moose was standing there eating, maybe 50 feet away. And so we stopped and spoke to it just very quietly and gently, and luckily it just sauntered away. So that was a cool encounter. And then right after that, we saw a couple of birds. They maybe ptarmigan. They had dark gray and white markings. Looked sort of like chickens. And they, for some reason, kept running down the trail in front of us instead of going off to the side. Even when we'd pause, they'd pause. So those were our animal encounters yesterday. Hey. How did the howling and whistling go?
Pretty good. I think it'll be flutter.
Oh, no kidding. Congrats.
Thank you.
That hooting was awesome. Good job.
8 about hiking. And the first bit is improv. It's sort of whatever comes to mind. There are rocks in the woods. There are trees in the woods. There are grasses in the woods. And stuff like that. There are clouds in the woods. There are rabbits in the woods. There are pine cones in the woods. And stuff like that. Look at the trees. Look at the view. Up to the top. Look at the view. You can see your house. Isn't it just beautiful?
Yay, that's awesome. That's beautiful.
Thank you.
How lucky am I to be here? And that's where we came from. Came over Georgia Pass. Here we've met up with somebody new. Hey, what's your name? John. Good to meet you. I'm Bob.
Hi Bob. Good to meet you.
Like a bird on a tree, I'm just sitting here. I got time, it's clear to see. From up here, world seems small, we can sit together. It's so beautiful, you and me. We meant to be in the great outdoors, forever free.
Hi, it's day 6 on the Colorado Trail. I'm here with Cheddar and Just Joe. We set up camp about 90 miles from Denver at this point, and I've got time, so I thought I'd do a video about this tent that I'm using. It's made from a pattern that I found on the internet, and it's called 70-inch by 4 yards. And I just finished sewing it only about a week before we started up on this trip. So had it for a little bit of a break-in period, but mostly I've been just testing it out on this trip. So it's a hexamid pattern. So it's got 6 side panels, line tighteners at all the corners, and it's made from 1.1 ounce sil poly fabric, and the bathtub floor is 1.1 ounce sil poly with a polyurethane coating. Inside, it's got perimeter netting that join the bathtub floor to the fly, and then on the back side where there's sort of a secondary vestibule, I added a zipper, so there's access to the outside of the vestibule from the inside of the tent. I've got these elastic cords that help pull up the bathtub floor in the middle and on the ends. And then the fly, front part of the fly ties up with a magnetic catch. Here's what it looks like with the net doors unzipped and tied up. There it is with the net doors up closed. And then close up the front of the fly. It slides down on the front guy wire. And I can close the front fly by to the vestibule by pulling on this cord that runs through just a little sort of pulley on the tie down, and that pulls the vestibule door closed.
That's so slobbery. That's a wet leaf. Wow.
Nice.
That was exhausting.